Being a father means you're no longer an individual. You have to be responsible. If you have children, you're supposed to take care of them. You're supposed to nurture them. You're supposed to feed them in the right direction. Give them what they need to succeed. Not just leave them by the wayside. And so that's how it's changed me. I mean, the things that I wanted, now I can't have it when we're raising kids. We're raising children. You have to pretty much take a back seat to your wants because of their needs.
I feel like my whole life I've been mothering somebody that needed it or needed me, whether they were younger or even older than me. So I feel like it's very natural for me to be that way to people that come into my life. And I also feel like my mother prepared me for that. My mother was a Mexican woman and very kind of traditional. Not totally, I say kind of, because she had some non-traditional ideas about women and their strength and what they're capable of. That was probably unlike her experience growing up.
So my first child was born. It made me straighten up. Just living every day for the day, without a care in the world. Thugging a little bit here, thugging a little bit there. I wouldn't say not heavy in the streets, but in the streets, when I could have been doing something else constructive with my life.
So when we decided to become parents, I didn't feel like I had a fear of being a parent. I figured I'll just figure it out. And that's pretty much what ended up happening, at least from my side. I just didn't know how important it was to understand my view of the world, the way I was brought up, and how that shapes a child's life. I don't think I was as aware of it. I knew it was a huge responsibility, but I just didn't see it from that angle. I just thought, I'll just wing it, So.
Being a dad has changed me a lot. I came from a place where, like everybody else, a place from immaturity. Even into my 20s, I felt like I was immature, and having a child makes you become an adult faster. You grow up faster, and you realize the things that you want when you're mature, you don't want them anymore, and you just keep. And to this day, I keep changing and evolving into becoming a stronger man, more patient, just working harder so I can be an example to my kids. So I want them to work hard too, and actually be business owners or own their own things when they grow up.
How it's changed me, I guess I've become, I used to have a hot streak. I would get not angry, but just ruffled very easily, especially in my creative life, which is very frustrating. As a creative person, you're getting rejected all the time. People are trying to tell you, I'm a writer, so I write something and people are giving you notes, which is how screenwriting works. You get notes or something, but then I would get very angry at the notes, at the person giving me notes. You don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. And, but now, I guess ever since she's come into my life, I've had to temper that down and become a little bit more even, because you can't blow up. A kid does a thing, you have to learn to just let it go. She makes a mess, she ruins something, she's 5 or something, and just breaks something. Okay, that's what kids do, and it's just, you have to deal with it, and you can't blow up all the time. And I never wanted kids. I never wanted to have kids. I didn't want to have a kid in my life, in my house. I didn't want anything to do with kids. The first time I met Maggie, I thought she was extremely attractive, and I saw her kid and I said, well, that one's out. So obviously something changed. We got to know each other, and I saw Molly as more of an asset to my life, I guess, because, and actually Molly likes to say that I married Maggie for her to become her dad.
Once you become a father, you know, if you're any type of responsible person, you know, life is no longer about you anymore. So you have to decide whether you're going to step up to the plate and take care of your business. And as soon as they came, you know, I chose to, you know, put a lot of foolishness down and go ahead and, you know, take care of them. So it wasn't all just me doing my thing, and, you know, I'm like, I'm going to take care of my kids.
Being a parent really changed me. I was the third child with my mother and father. I have two older brothers, and the only girl. So I grew up kind of selfish, had not planned to have children because there was a saying that people used to say baby needs shoes. And I always said baby needs shoes, I need shoes. So I never really planned to have any children. I was late in life having Armandi, and I was, you know, it was not planned. Once I found out I was going to be a parent, the changes came immediately. I took it very seriously. It changed how I looked at the world. It changed how I looked at myself. It changed my lifestyle. I mean, that goes without saying. Lifestyle, immediate change. I mean, from day one when you find out you're pregnant, your lifestyle changes. You don't drink, you don't smoke. So it had profound changes with my lifestyle, and even my career changed. Prior to Armandi, I mean, I had done some other things, but I was working as a waitress in a bar. And nobody wants a pregnant cocktail waitress. So I had to find new work, you know, once I began to show and it became obvious that I was pregnant. So yes, a lot changed.
Yeah, you know, with dads, I think you get over that initial kind of, I don't know, shock first, and then it's sort of an elation that sets in, and then a sense of duty kind of sets in. But for me, because Anita had to carry him for 9 months, you know, I think it hit me when the day he was born. And one particular time, coming from the hospital, he was still in the hospital. I think I was going back to the house to get something. And we'd been up all night, and I had to fly in from out of town. And so I had any sleep, and I think I stopped at this place and kind of, I don't know if I nodded off or not, but I remember kind of like almost nodding off, and then it hit me. It's like, oh wow, you know, I have a child now, and I got to take him home, and there's no book, and there's no instruction manual. And my thing is, so when they hand them to us, because they don't keep you in the hospital long these days, they get you in and get you out. What is next? And so I realized, and I knew things would change. I'm the kind of person that said, well, this is the new normal. So this is, you know, what I know I need to do. I need to be a provider and a mentor and those kinds of things. So all that hit me at one time.
Let me go back about that.
Yes.
I don't think I said enough about the changes because he did bring something back to my mind. Yes, my body changed. There were changes in how I looked at myself. There were physical changes that I had to deal with. There were peer changes because I remember being pregnant was a very lonely time for me in the sense that I had a group of friends and we had a certain lifestyle. And once I became pregnant, I no longer had those friends. They didn't want to keep company with me because I couldn't do the things we used to do. And so they immediately pulled back from me. So I remember that time specifically being when he was not there. I had my family, but as peers, it was a lonely time for me.
Gosh, it changed me because it means thinking beyond yourself primarily is and even being married, I say too, it was an adjustment as well. Is now when people get married and say, oh gosh, it's a big transition, you go, wait, that's nothing compared to having kids, but at the time getting married seemed to be a big transition. You have to think about yourself and not lead parallel lives or bring them together, but with kids is to think about what their needs are. And to me, I always say it's easy to be a workaholic, it's just work all the time. I think to me it took a lot of discipline to say, okay, I have to pull up the oars, and on a weekend realize, okay, I have to do things within my family and try to find that balance. So I think that was part of the lesson of it as well. And also to realize that you have to give up some control. I mean, I see my kids' lives perfectly, but fortunately for them, they don't follow what I think is the best path for them necessarily.
It's kind of made me it's made me more fearful. When it was just me, I knew, it's okay, I'm fine, I'll do whatever, and if I'm not here, no big deal. I mean, I know it'll be a big deal to my family, but I'm not leaving a spouse or children, that are, gonna feel this incredible pain. But now that I am a mom, I'm so grateful for the fact that I've always been a very conscientious woman, in that I mean what I say and I say what I mean. I tell the truth. I work hard, because the children are not listening to us. They are, but they aren't. They're watching us. So everything that I say to them, I do. I'm not doing anything different. And I take responsibility for mistakes that I make or things that I do that aren't correct. So having a little person, and I mean little in age, not necessarily height or anything, but having a little person constantly looking at you, it's changed me to know that, okay, they're in my house, they're not just outside of me, they're inside the house and they're constantly watching. So I'm glad that my basic self was somebody that I wouldn't be ashamed to be in front of a child. So it's changed me tremendously, and I've learned so much because of trying to teach it to them. So, and then the way they process information, like one time my youngest daughter, we had asked her a question and she went, and I thought, what is she doing? And she was really thinking about the question, and then she answered it. And I thought, I need to do that more. So there's so much you learn from them. That's really amazing if you allow yourself to learn, and not just, I'm the parent, you're the child, shut up. No, that does not work. It never works. You have to give them freedom to be whoever they are. Let them be who they are.